Hey all, this is part two of going to be a five-part informational series about moving to Asia. Whether you're in America, or Argentina, Italy, and anywhere in the West, and you're thinking about going to Thailand, Chiang Mai, Japan, China, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Macau, wherever. I think this is going to tackle these videos are going to tackle two elements. It's going to be working and social life. Working is will take anybody that moves out there 6 months. It's going to take you time to meet people, to get associated with the land. I got my first job after 6 months in a private equity firm, a small firm, just doing some English writing. They translated it from Chinese to English. I would do the better English. I would do the local English, and to make more advertisements for foreign capital that wanted to flow into China. So that's out there. Work was never a problem in China. There's always something for the foreigner to do. What I'd like to spend these next 4 or 5 minutes talking about is my social life there. And what I found in my first 6 months was a sexual explosion. I was a guy in America that had to beg. I had to beg for women. I had to beg for a date. I couldn't, and when I got a date, who knows how it would go. The woman had too many options. There's too many typical Americans, just like myself in America, and we're all fighting over the same dish. In China, with 1.5 billion people and 750 million women, whether they're single or married, most of them, a lot of them in Beijing especially, are attracted to the foreigner. So I think going there, you're going to find that, wow, this is just natural. This is easy. People are looking at you and they're attracted by your white skin. Like I don't want white skin. I want to get a suntan and be dark. And they love the white skin, the porcelain white, which we don't like. But to each their own. I mean, for me, it became getting dates and having fun out on Friday and Saturday night. It just became a hobby. It became effortless. I was living my life as a natural man in a natural habitat. I didn't have to try anymore. I didn't have to beg a woman to go out to dinner and say, oh, I'll treat you, and have it be expected that I do all these things just to jump through hoops to get to the next level of a relationship. And the Chinese, some of them can't speak English. That's a hurdle. So that 750 million is going to be cut in half to 375 million. So you still have a population's worth of women, an American population's worth of women that are interested in you. And my first 2 years of dating there, it was just, I don't want to come off as somebody that's bragging to you or showboating, but it was just remarkable. The types of women, all beautiful, all skinny, all just things that you have a hard time finding in America with a population of 350 million, 175 million are women. How many of them are skinny? How many of them don't eat at McDonald's? So these are the things that in the first 2 years, you're in that culture shock. You're just like, wow, how do, and then it becomes, which one do you go out with? And then what's the limit on age? Because a 21-year-old and you're 35, that's not accepted in America, but in China is very, very normal. They look at 35-year-old, 40-year-old men, 45-year-old men as young men. In America, that's demonized. In the media, anywhere. Oh, you're a lech, you're a pervert. Not the case. So I think, what you have to keep in mind, this is China. Japan is the same. Thailand is the same. Vietnam, same. Manila, even crazier. Philippines. And they all speak English. So, this is just to kind of tell you about my first 2 years there. Of like the work was good. I think after the first 6 months, I got a job paying, I think, $4,000 a month pre-tax, and that was more than enough for me. I was making around $8,000 in New York on salary a month before I left, and to cut my salary in half, but also live in Beijing, the houses are not cheap, but they're not New York. And the living expense, the food, you can eat a dish for $3. Breakfast $3, lunch $3, dinner $3 if you want. You can also eat for $15. They have choices there. So when you're coming over in the first 1 year, and you're kind of, you got to bring a little bit of money, but you have options. So I think that's one of the things you have to keep in mind. And you have to get out there and network, and you will meet people, because Beijing, Shanghai, there's too many people not to meet people. So you'll meet other foreigners, you'll meet people, and you'll figure out the websites people use to, Chinese people use to look for people like yourself. You'll figure all that out. You just got to go there, take a few Chinese classes, meet a few people, and after 2 months, the wheels will be rolling. So don't be scared. It is a culture shock. China especially is a culture shock because, again, half the people don't speak English in Beijing. But your social life will benefit. So that's all I wanted to say. For the first 2 years, it was like that. I left that job after a year and a half, so I worked there for a year, making $4,000. I left after a year, making it a year and a half there, and I got into a job in 2012, what I'm going to talk about next. But my job in 2012 was paying me $6,000 a month. So I'm climbing up this scale quite quickly, and my social life is also tremendously benefiting. I'm dating 21-year-old girls from Sichuan, the most beautiful province in China, beautiful women. Hebei, Harbin, Shanghainese, Guangdong, you name it, it's there. The culture is a little bit different than America, so you have to shed that American culture, that stigma of who I am and who society defined me as in America. That will all go away after about a year there. That will be gone. But I'm going to end it there. I hope that these information sessions and my sharing at least sheds a little bit of light on it. I don't want to go too long and bore the hell out of you guys, but I do want to give you some valuable content that you can kind of maybe even ask more questions about in the comment section. Please like, please subscribe. I'm just trying to build this up from nothing. I'm doing it as a hobby. I want to just inform people because I do have information. I've lived there now 9 years in Asia, and I'll get to where I'll go through this timeline succinctly and successively so that you have an idea of what my life is now and what I'm doing, and I'll share with you a little bit about my career next time. Thank you.